Vitale couldn't dispossess him. Down the near side, an opportunity here for Paul. He tried to drop pass. Huge hit by Martin, thrown in front of his own zone to try and get Lindsay away. And then Lindsay's going to get tackled from behind by Martin, and Martin's got gloved punches going at Lindsay. Now Lindsay's going to take his gloves off and his buckets off too and come after Martin. Well, Martin hit Lindsay first.
Tries to move the puck away from the double team. He clears it out to the neutral zone. Jiricek gets a shove right in front of the penalty box. Puck comes out Macon's way. Trevor Grasby gets it away, and now we've got a fight developing just in front of the penalty box. May getting the upper hand, leaning into the Pensacola defender.
Seacoast in across the blue line. He's taken out of the play along the boards. And there's a hit by the Storm that knocks a helmet off. The hit by Kirkendall. And it's going to be a penalty on the Storm. And now there's going to be a fight as well. Kirkendall and Trudell, the son of the coach, Tristan Trudell. And Kirkendall gets in a good left on Trudell. And Trudell just has to go for the takedown.
J. Valerian. Now a breakaway for Knoxville the other way. Skating in, backhand save made by Clays. Knoxville with an opportunity, and now gloves are off as Paxton LaRue's going to go with Andrew Harley, and there's a third man in there. And they're still throwing punches. Linesman trying to separate them.
Have to hurry. He has a chance to pick it up. Connor May beats him to the puck, though. And here we go, behind the play. That's Max Messier and Jamie Dorsey dropping the gloves and throwing them. I didn't see how it started, but Max Messier is very angry about something.
In the net, does a good job to stay strong on the puck and come free. He'll look to get it out of the zone. Takes a big shot there, and now racing after Panucci as we've got ourselves a skirmish as the gloves have dropped. And it looks like we've got multiple fights, as one of them is Tommy Seacoast, one of them is Panucci, as we've got fisticuffs, as Dmitry Toporowski took a big shot, and Seacoast, the captain, and Panucci, who came in last season with the dog determination, both of them standing up for their young defenseman, as he took a huge shot.
The rookie on the left wing, and he'll dump it in, and Lindsay gets tied up there, but he's able to keep the puck in. A hit away from the play, and the referee's going to call that. Here we go. We got
there they go.
It's a full brawl on the ice. My goodness. And we said it in the preset. These teams played earlier in the preseason. They didn't like each other. Sticks going everywhere, helmets going everywhere. I'll tell you what, it's hockey night in Huntsville, and everybody's awake on the ice, and they don't have enough referees to stop this one.
Old Faulkner had a Darce choke on one of the Huntsville Havoc, it looked like there.
Out in front, and he couldn't
Just
jam it
missed
home. And meanwhile, we got a brawl down here in the corner, and he's absolutely laying into him. It's haymaker after haymaker, guy. Holy jumping.
Ethan Lindsay, Reginato, far corner. Good stick check by Bartuccio Pereira. They blow the whistle. The puck was still loose. Wasn't going to find anyone's stick. And now Bartuccio Pereira going at it with Reginato behind the net. And they're going to drop the gloves. Bartuccio Pereira and Fries tied up behind Boyko's net. Both in a headlock. Bartuccio Pereira going over the top. Now a couple more rights. Fries can't get anything in. Still grappling with Bartuccio Pereira. The crowd loving it as both of them have each other embraced on the end boards. And I couldn't count a single strike. It'll bounce down in front of Wilson. Ryder gets to it, slapped around by Risk. Grasby finishes his check, but it'll be a penalty, and now they're going to go after Grasby, it appears. That was a tough chance out in front. Now Grasby's going to drop the gloves, and we've got round two of Hugfest behind the net on this left side. Reginato getting some shots in, and he'll take down Grasby. Just an unfortunate angle. Grasby going in on the forecheck. His man falls down, and it's going to be a boarding penalty Bobby Price racing after it. Wilson plays it, so no icing. And Price bumped into Wilson. That's going to draw a crowd. Price is down, and Krupinski with a slash. Procopio goes after Price. The Mayhem staying calm here smartly. Gio Procopio is having his way with Price at center ice.
Points. Here's Vanderveen. Rister on goal. Saved by Steves. Traffic in front. Not a bad idea. And then afterwards, some pushing and shoving. Bowl and Semino. Two big boys. Semino drops the gloves, and Bowl's going to go with them as well. Right hand's free for Semino. Semino switches to the left. Throwing some big-time haymakers. Bowl loses his helmets and takes Bowl down to the ice.
Half boards, Fensterstock flips it a line, chopped at back deep by Barker. Now Leaf in behind. Now you got some action behind the play as Barker going right at, looks like Holmes, after Holmes took a shot at Bear. And now the linesman getting involved. Barker sends a helmet. He wants more of Holmes.
As well, Vanderveen forced to turn over in the neutral zone. Miles Abbott near the penalty boxes, dumps it back in, off of Gerard. Pushing and shoving, and now looks like we might get a find here. Kester and Hobbs. Hobbs and Kester at the Huntsville blue line. Rights free for Hobbs and gets the better of Kester there. Back to the Huntsville zone. Around the boards to the near side, Gilmore on to Federico. Trying to move it from the point. It's a short handoff for Curran. On for Gilmore, but the pass broken up, and Federico's down and hurts. And now we're going to get a fight. It's going to be Vanderveen going after Giovanni Procopio. I presume is the source of the apparent injury to Federico. So Vanderveen wasted no time going after Giovanni Procopio. That's not the first time that Vanderveen has gone after one of the Procopios. We saw it last year in Huntsville as well.
Tries to poke it along to LaRue. He sends it down to Rodebush, and Rodebush forced to cover it with Tosto bearing down on him. Tosto takes a shove from Andrew Stacy and another from Matt O'Day, and now the gloves come off for LaRue, and the gloves come off for Stacy, the gloves come off for O'Day, and the gloves come off for Tosto. Tosto and O'Day go down. Stacy and LaRue trading punches. A couple of heavy rights from LaRue. Another right hook from LaRue. Stacy goes for a jab. They're still holding on to each other. LaRue goes over, and then they voluntarily let go of the...
The first 90% there. The final 10% is... Oh, we have an altercation here at center ice. Colton Wilkie dropping the gloves here. But it looks like it was Matt O'Day getting the better end of that one. Over to Leith. He fired that one in from center ice. And here's Alonso getting in the mix. We get pushing and shoving, and the gloves come off. Both spinning around, trying to get a good grip, but it looks like Alonso got the better end of that one.
Penalties called for either team so far, almost 15 minutes into this opening period. And now we're going to drop the gloves. Messier and Urasek. Urasek draws first contact with a right hook. Messier gets on top of Urasek, and the white flag goes up.
Havoc fire with a 4-on-3. Reds it out towards the goal. Lush is just going to stick his stick out, take control, take a whistle, and some extracurriculars take place. Gloves are off, and here we go. Connor Fry's trying to get loose, saw Perez, and Perez takes him down.
To bring the puck in, we skated laterally instead of north and south. Now behind the play, Frolov, here we go with Widmar right in front of the Bulls bench. Both players go down. Now big hit there by, I believe that's Stacy. Now behind them, here we go. Two more players right in front. We can't see from the fans in the angle, but now they went in front of the Roanoke bench throwing punches, both of them being tied up. Now we talked about it, the tempers are really starting to flare.
Yep.
what started with a little pushing and shoving in one zone comes back, and I believe that's Matt Dorsey. He was going there with Karan.
There's Karan.
And those two for sure will go to the penalty box, Greg.
Connect on a pass, gaining the zone.
Puck sent up the middle by Pensacola. They enter to the right side. Cross-ice shot is deflected high and goes out of play. There was a hard hit, I believe, on Blake Wells. And there go the gloves as Ethan Price is going to go with Brendan Dowler. Or excuse me, that's Unisek with Dowler. Heavy rides by Dowler. He loses his balance. They're still throwing punches as they fall to the ice, and linesmen are in there to
get free. Here is Kirkendall chipping in, unable to gather it in, and Bull comes and steps up with a nice hit. Puck is free, and Kirkendall's got an opportunity here. Davis, Kirkendall with it. A fire a shot, save made, and we've got to fight back in the neutral zone, as it's Adonai who's going toe-to-toe with the big fella Jacob Bull, who had a collision, and Adonai and Bull trading right hands. As Bull pulls the helmet of Adonai off as he got the better of that exchange. Racing in with it here, Niftly getting through initially. Now Panucci is there, and a shot is saved, but a penalty on a collision. And down there it is, I believe that is Henderson, who is down, and let's hope he's okay. He's slow to get up, and now, whoa, Panucci just got two-hand checked in the back, and he's getting jumped as they're racing Devine to the box. And now, again, I mean, this is just insanity. Peoria just jumping Panucci for no reason at all. Henderson is slow to get up still, being checked on by the athletic trainer, and now we've got a kind of a mini line brawl here as Toporowski finally gets taken down there by Michael Herrera.
In his own end, picks it up. There's a penalty, though, away from the play as Lenzenko went down and the referee's arm went up. And then Paul gets taken out, and there we go! Procopio jumping in! And it's an absolute brawl right now, guy. They're firing away as Lenzenko went down for Birmingham. Paul went down for Huntsville.
Huntsville, they dump it down low. Couple of body checks already there.
Early spill by the head ref.
Looks like number 3 wants a little fight there. Maybe something happened in that last period they didn't like. That's Arsenal. Arsenal had to shake an elbow pad loose, and they go to the ice. Not too much happened there, but
like got a good few hits each there. Well, ultimately a pretty short fight there, guys. Penalty called here. Oh! Looks like we got Fries and Connor May. This might also be airing some grievances out from previously during the game.
Connor May got a couple of shots on the old button there. And that's going to be all for that one. I don't usually say who wins or loses. McCabe on defense. Procopio. Uh-oh, could be a fight here in the corner. Ethan Lindsay. There was 2 guys on Procopio, and Lindsay said, "Not on my watch, boys," and he jumped them from behind.
He came in so fast, guys.
Basically kind of they just grabbed each other, but still.
We got further development here.
Procopio throws him down like an MMA match. For Macon. Huntsville trying to get back, and he does. Great play there by Ethan Lindsay. And Ethan Lindsay is letting them have it. Ethan Lindsay pulls him to the ice. Folks, here comes the kiss. Get ready. He told me after every fight he likes to send a kiss to the crowd. And there it is!
Look at Fayetteville's first goal of the night. Wilkie takes some contact away from the puck as it is covered up in the crease by DiMatteo. Wilkie takes a push from Bross, and now Bross getting a shove from Moran. Moran trying to defend his teammate, and Pellinger now has to be separated. Pellinger and Moran will be given a chance to settle this at center ice. Pellinger goes in first on Moran, connects on a right hook. Trying to wrap up Moran, and he takes him down to the ice. Options to shoot or pass to Wiesner trailing behind. He opted to shoot. Muse was ready for it. And now we're going to have a fight away from the puck. This is Ethan Price taking down his man in the corner. By Fayetteville, this is Paul Moust. Moust takes contact. Waiting for help to arrive, and now he gets wrapped up, and he's in a fight with Gaudette. Gaudette and Moust going at it. Couple uppercuts from Gaudette. He takes Moust down. They're both back up on their skates. Officials will try and block it. And
out of the zone. Simeone a one-on-one against Jordan Henderson. Trying to muscle his way around him. He's done a great job one-on-one battles for the net fronts. Turned away from Hobbs by a Storm stick. This one steered back on goal. Steves will cover this one up. Then afterward, Hobbs in a collision with Noah Massey ended up in the close range of St. Steves, and we got a fight. Hobbs and Noah Massey. In the left side corner, right hands prevailing for both players. No helmet for Massey. Oh, Massey's in trouble. Hobbs got the right free and took care of business. Far corner, and this one into the side of the net. Trying at the blue paint to stop, and the puck's still free. Now it's whistled in, and Steves is getting into it. There was a mass of bodies in the blue paint. Evansville doing a really good job crashing the net, and plenty of Storm bodies came back as well. And now Van der Veen is going to drop the gloves, so we're going to get another fight. This will be against Davis Kirkendall, and Van der Veen takes him down quickly. So 117 in, we got 2 fights already.
Shot, that one denied there by the glove of Rodebush as he denies Lazarus Cable. Meanwhile, some more pushing and shoving. Now you got a dog pile right behind the Roanoke net. As everyone is tied up with someone else, McChesney tackled down behind the play there. Looks like, I want to say by Ricky Boyson. And we're definitely going to get penalties out of this one. As the referee comes in trying to separate Boyson and McChesney. Boyson's got McChesney in a headlock. Oh, and now Herrera tackle from behind, was trying to get Boyson to let go of McChesney. Now that's going to escalate matters. And now you got Christian Acosta throwing punches. The linesmen are trying to separate everyone. Boyson's now throwing punches at a helpless Michael Herrera. It's chaos down there in the near left wing. Tristan Trudell going to take the face-off against Joe Widmar. And Trudell goes right after Widmar. In to come in is Lindbergh. Oh, and Trudell just tackles Lindbergh down on the ice hard. Doney. Now Saren Widmar shot save. Rebound. Smothered up by Bosted. Meanwhile, you got Adinier and Riefler exchanging shoves behind the back. And now Adinier dropping the gloves with Riefler. They're throwing punches. And Ayodele Adinier tackles Riefler down hard.
The left side at the point. Shot, glove save plays, no screen off the attempt from Caffarelli. Now Dorsey and Soper shoving one another. Being separated by the linesman. Lulianello, the referee, pointing to the penalty box. Somebody's going. Now Valerian grabbing onto Carson Vance. There goes the glove. As Valerian just continues to throw punches on Carson Vance, I think they both got their gloves off. Dorsey has already been taken to the penalty box, as has Soper.
Be tapping for it. Ford can do nothing but send it along to Allison. Allison given a rough ride behind the play. And Heitzner with a shot for Messier. Heitzner and Messier, here we go. Right at the blue line. Heitzner races in, misses with his first shot. Body blow from Messier, a couple quick shots. Messier, big 2 rights, brings him in, uppercut. Messier with a big takedown and a standover.
A puck in front. Licky's a stop by Muntinger again. And a nice hit by Vanderveen and a keep in by Evansville. Licky in the move, but now the play is whistled dead, and now we get a penalty call. And now Vanderveen's going to drop the gloves, and it's going to be a center ice fight against Braden Stannard. That's Robin Lilliquist, my apologies. And Will Vanderveen will duke it out at center ice. Right hands for Vanderveen and for Lilliquist. Both exchanging equal amount of shots apiece. Rock'em Sock'em fighters at center ice, Vanderveen and Lilliquist. Both giving and both taking the right hands. And the linesman will separate those two.
Tell you folks, if you haven't ever come to a live hockey game, Jacob, it's the best, isn't it?
They have quite the atmosphere here as Allen's out there with Burke and Galloway. And here we go, off the draw. We got a tussle between Procopio and Dabrowski. They're smiling at each other, and this is gonna be absolute mayhem. Dabrowski lands the first. He's grabbing Procopio's helmet. They're both laying into each other. Procopio and Dabrowski tied up. They're settling scores here as Dabrowski trying to get an arm loose. Procopio shaking. Oh, Dabrowski lays a haymaker into Procopio, and the referee's gonna let him go, and then the takedown, as those are two giants of men going at it right there. As Mastrangeli took out Reginato behind the play, and now Lindsay goes down. Allen coming in to make sure nothing else is going on, as Faulkner, I believe down in that corner, took out Lindsay.
Yeah, you just want to make sure you don't get hurt at this point of the game. Lindsay comes up and Reginato.
Oh, Reginato always willing to go after it as he's got Mastrangeli grabbed. And now Lindsay in a tussle, and he's just laying into him. Ethan Lindsay is giving Bross a piece of his mind, but good on Bross to get back up. And now Lindsay's giving him a face wash into the boards.
Dude, I love Ethan Lindsay.
I don't think Bross knew what he was getting himself into, as here comes Lindsay.
There it is, the kiss of victory!
Center ice draw won by the Storm. Dumped in by Perez, took a hit for his troubles. And you got some pushing and shoving after the fact at the horn. And some punches being thrown right in front of the scores table. Massey is involved, looks like with his brother, Noah, and they'll have to be separated. And Perez taking a swing there at Chartron. They're grappling each other. Perez throwing punches. Chartron drops the gloves, gets an uppercut in, and sends Perez down the ice, gets him back up. Now Chartron a couple of hard rights. And finally, they'll have both linesmen come in and separate them.
Miles Abbott pressuring along with Matt Hobbs. Nice hit throw by Hobbs. Takes down Jared Cup. Simmons on the puck. Now they get a fight. Olsen and Hobbs. And Hobbs with the right hands. Olsen taking exception to the hit by Hobbs. It was a nice one. And Hobbs got the right free. Getting some uppercuts in. Now the helmet's on for Olsen. Trying to stay in this fight. Hobbs getting all the shots in. And now he's got him down.
Into the Huntsville defensive zone. They're going to fly it forward. Reginato with a huge hit in the neutral zone. Big play by him, but Pensacola carrying the play. And now Gaudette jumps in, and we got a fight here between Reginato and Gaudette, and they're going after each other. Gaudette took exception to that. Reginato laying some hands, but Gaudette getting in some jabs himself. They're tied up now. Reggie's smiling, and I think that'll do it, but what a bout there for those two.
Call. The Storm bench is up in arms, and there's a low bridge by one of the Storm players, and that's going to be called a penalty. And now a fight breaking out. There's two fights behind the Storm goal. One of them involving Noreka, or is that Kirkendall against Benjamin Lindbergh? They are toe-to-toe going at it. That is Noreka. And Noreka and his opponent Lindbergh both down to the ice. Linesmen get the opportunity to jump in. Wasn't quite there. They get it to the point to Walker. Over to Massey. Massey wrist shot gets through, and a Storm poking at it, trying to get it past the goaltender. There's a pile of bodies in front, and they can't make it happen. Oh my goodness. And now a fight breaking out right there in the slot. Somebody knocked Nick Panucci's helmet off. And there's a takedown by Noah Massey of Brandon McNamara, and those two are going at it separately. And down goes McNamara with Massey on top. So both teams will go shorthanded here in the late going of the Midwest Math third period. And now another fight breaks out. This is Nick Panucci and Daniel Chartrand. And Panucci go with the uppercut and then over the top with a right. And now he backs Chartrand up and it gets him with a couple of big shots to the head. Panucci in control here. Takes Chartrand into the boards, and then the linesmen jump in.
The stick for Witherspoon, then Witherspoon's pass back to Krupinski, not a good one either. Krupinski with a tie-up, Boyko run into here, and Boyko goes after Harley, and Krupinski and Harley tied up here. Krupinski with a takedown on Harley, and a couple extra shots after the fact. He's still not letting go of Harley. Looks like words exchanged after the fight was over, too. Nothing. Cohen a little shot for O'Day. That's captain on captain. And O'Day throws Cohen's stick away from him. And got some pushing and shoving at center ice after the horn here. Officials doing a good job to keep everybody that wasn't on the ice away from the play. Stacy and Goldowski still going at it. Stacy has nothing to lose on a PTO. Stacy and Goldowski still going at it. Goldowski's gloves are off. Linesman in between, and it's not going to stop the two number 20s. Stacy with a couple rights, Goldowski with a right. They're still at it right in the crease. Stacy with a takedown, and eventually they're stopped as both linesmen step in.
Players watching on arm in arm.
Now they're going to call a penalty here. I believe it's against Knoxville as the rail yard dogs will skate forward right to left. Down that far wall, it's Boyson. He'll shoot. That one's blocked right back towards Broman, a bit too far away from Rogues number 28 on the save by Giesbrecht. Now that's an ugly hit from Olsen, and Fabrice Bourgeois is going to drop the gloves with him. Bourgeois right over the top. They'll slip, and then Olsen just decides to truck through him. There were a couple of really big connections on that last shift both ways. Broman had two big hits. Bourgeois still fired up. So pinballing in the low slot, it'll come out to Lindbergh. He'll fire it on. O'Day tipped it on, and Matt O'Day scores as Kyle Soper takes a swing at Andrew Stacy's skate. And that's going to bring a crowd here. Stacy's going to grab Kyle Soper. They're going to drop the gloves here to the near side. Stacy hammers Kyle Soper. Two huge right connections. They're at the near side of the Knoxville zone.
The ice, nice job there by the Ice Flyers, sending it back down the length of the ice here. And we're gonna have some shoving right there, and we're gonna have gloves on the ice, and we're gonna have a fight. Exchanging blows up against the far side of the board. That is number 74, Ethan Price. Ethan Price did not like being shoved down.
Okay, now back to the alternate captain, Valerian. Goes a bit behind him, but recovered. And we might get a scrap here. Back in neutral ice, it's Stacy and Ayonzo. They're gonna meet at center ice. Andrew Stacy and John Ayonzo with 13:55 to go in the third. Roanoke up by 4. Ayonzo wants a piece of Stacy. They're bobbing and weaving here at the Dogs logo at center ice. Now Stacy grabs a hold, grabs him with the right and then whip with the left. Now Ayonzo 2 over the top. Stacy catches him with 1 big right. And now uppercuts from Stacy. He's feeding Ayonzo now. They'll grapple with each other. Let's see if they can get the linesman in here. And Stacy will push him away. And he'll look at the Roanoke bench as at the line for Monkovich. Sent back down low. A chance for Roanoke to maybe take this puck back in the left wing corner, but they're not able to. And now they might fight here in the near side corner. It's Mike Moran that has a hold of a rail yard dog, Travis Broman. They've got each other tied up in headlocks right now. Moran's gloves, you can see down at the bottom of the left wing circle, Broman just held him up. You do see Broman's glove is gone too.
Through De La Savita's stick, partially blocked the shot. Birkin still had to make a save. De La Savita holding his mouth, and a big hit there on McClockus. Penalty coming here. De La Savita
There go the
goes
gloves.
after his man. That was Sanders, and De La Savita delivers a beatdown. McClockus still working his way back up. Cohen checking on him.
He finally does. Over to McPhee on the left. Fires one up the wall. That one all the way down. And looks like Zach Wilkie might be guilty of a penalty here. After now McPhee are going to drop the gloves. And Wilkie wrestled down by McPhee after Wilkie gave a hard check to Scott Curtin.
Capitalized in front of the goal. Puck is dropped, gloves are off. Nick Panucci and Jimmy Soper. There's an uppercut from Jimmy. Lands another right. Panucci trading a couple blows. Heavy rights from both players. They tie up. Soper lands on top of Panucci and the linesmen are in to demand a ceasefire.
And there we go at center ice. We got 2 guys going. That's Tyler German. And I can't see who it is for Birmingham. German gets down as Scaldi, skate Scaldi, went down. I was following the puck.
To Moran. Gaudette gets spun out, gets the pass away to Bull as he falls down. Bull takes contact and is knocked down to the ice. He's motionless, and we've got a fight. Urasek checking on Bull.
One back to Clark. On the move. Looking to move up the slot. He shoots. It's off the glass. Near side, Berkapet's activating. Wrister on goal. Saved by Boyko, and he holds on to the rebound. Then afterward, Hobbs drops the gloves of Connor May. Out of nowhere, Hobbs and Connor May in the near side corner in the Macon zone. Right's free for Hobbs. And now gets a couple rapid punches with the left hand. Now switches back to the right. Gets May down. A couple more shots for good measure as May got back up momentarily.
1 man back for the Bulls. Lindsay drops it back for Kessner. There's a centering pass for Gio Procopio off the mark, but they get the rebound far side. Or not the rebound, but the errant puck. Now, Sherratt pushing and shoving. Finally, here we go. Sherratt, I can't see who that is for Huntsville, but they're going at it toe-to-toe. The gloves are dropped. A big left thrown by, I believe it's Procopio, takes down Sherratt. Nobody really got a clean punch off, but Gio Procopio
out of the zone before it's carried right back in by Martin. A toe drag move, and it's blocked up front. And we have a fight right in front of the benches. It's Dabrowski, and he's able to pop him right down. And Dabrowski, a few words for the Peoria bench.
A smart shot by Martin, though. He kept it low, and he had 3 people there. Oh, look at this. Stacy gives the lumber to Connor Fries. Now Manning takes a jab down low behind the net. on McCabe. Fries and Stacy tied up as well. You could tell things were boiling a little bit here. Now Ernie jumps in. You know, I'll tell you what, a second man in, never really what you're supposed to do on that. Now Acosta gets involved. Martin's there. And all the boys are coming together for a little meeting of the minds. Stacy looks like he still wants to throw gloves. Referees got to get this one under wraps here. Meanwhile, here we go. A fight is breaking out now as Manning going against McCabe. McCabe way into Manning. Oh my! Manning drops McCabe.
To fly his body into the contact with Love. And Roanoke wants to keep this puck away. Stacy and Holmes are all tied up on the back wall, well away from the play here. Now Stacy just has Holmes tied up, and they are going to drop the gloves. Big right over the top from Stacy, and Holmes drops like a house of cards. And now Holmes will grab him again after he had already gone down easy.
It down to Rhodes, gets tangled up in his skates. Banged off the boards beneath the goal line. Lincoln Earn will try and bring it up now. And here comes Tyler German. He's going to drop the gloves. Now this is Chirino going up against Reginato. Chirino involved in a couple heavy checks, including one just moments ago, absorbing several right hooks from Reginato, and he's taken down to the ice.
That's left wing side for McKinney, connects behind him. And this will be dumped in. Riverman had possession back, but then Keita forced the turnover, and we have a whistle and a stoppage. Dawson McKinney down after he took a follow-up hit. And now LaRue's going to throw it down there with Tristan Trudell, and Trudell throwing hard rights on LaRue. And they wrestle each other down the ice quickly.
Leave it off his own backboards for Valerian. Valerian's pass gets away from Stacy, and it's icing here against the Dogs. And then immediately Messier and Stacy drop the gloves here in the middle of the vacant zone. They're grappling for the moment. And now Stacy's got Messier wrapped up pretty good. Messier's trying to get that right free. Here comes Stacy with two big rights. Messier still can't get the right free right now. He hasn't been able to get one loose. Stacy missed one, and then Messier threw a wild one back too. Now they have each other at arm's reach. Stacy, big uppercut, two haymakers, now a third. Messier answers with another. Now another over the top, but he missed. They're still going here out towards the vacant bench. See if they get the linesman in, they do. That's a heavyweight tilt here in the SB. Stacy's sixth fight of the year.
Sends it in, bouncing on goal. Boy, that was a bit of a handcuffer there for Steves, but he hangs on for the faceoff, and we've got a timeout on the ice. 4:41 left to go in the second period. It is 2-1 Quad City. Storm Hockey presented. Oh, there we got a scuffle breaking out. Noe Perez and Skate Scaldi. There's Perez with an overhand right. And Perez has Scaldi tied up, and he gets him with a left hand and takes him right down to the ice. And a little pounding on Scaldi by Perez before the linesmen finally get them separated.
The net. Camp. Ernie. Check by Bowl. Back to the point. Oh, we've got a fight now. It's number 44, Jacob Bowl, and he's throwing it with the Havoc player. I think that's... oh, that's number 91, Connor Fries. Shot on Brian Wilson. He's going to hold up. Every time there's a little save there, there's going to be a scuffle in front of the goalie, and I guess it's a good thing to do to try and get under the skin of the opposing team. Oh, we got a fight now. Connor Fries. Looks like Matt Clark and Connor Fries. Fries giving a couple shots to the belly there. And Connor Fries takes him to the ice. And that's a Connor Fries victory.
Door feed as that puck pops well into the air. And A real impressive catch here by the fan.
Yeah, fantastic grab there by the fan. And oh,
and we get a fight here at center ice. Blake Holmes. And I think that one says enough about itself.
they were looking like they were going to go round number 2.
Yeah, Carson Vance wants some more of Blake Holmes. You saw what happened the first time. I'm not sure why you'd want to run it back.
To say the least, very much not so. Quick shot from Massey. His wrister missed the net. And now a fight here. Apollon wants to go with Messier, and they will. Messier and Divine Apollon. Apollon with a couple lefts. Yanks down Messier. Apollon giving it to Messier. And Messier comes back with a right, but not before they break it up.
Legs will try and spring Acosta, but instead it's flipped back into neutral ice by Sadovsky. Widmar takes a heavy hit from behind by Zimmer. Nothing to that. It's kept in there left wing side by Mott. And then we're going to have two players drop the gloves here at the top of the Birmingham zone. It's Zimmer and Carrick Lindberg. Lindberg trying to get his right free. Zimmer falling back, and Lindberg will take him down. Looked like Lindberg was being held with the jersey over top of the head.
Time winner 4-3 a week ago Thursday. Huntsville coming off of back-to-back shutout wins on their home ice 2 nights ago, and before things get going, we've got a fight right away. This is Dominic Procopio going in on Pensacola's Amedeo Mastrangeli. Both connect with right hooks. Now they're tangled up with each other. Mastrangeli has his jersey half off. He's still going in on Procopio. Procopio answers back with a couple rights to the midsection. Mastrangeli gets wrapped up, immobilized by the jersey around his neck. And
Possible rush with Miles Abbott. Abbott breaks in. He shoots. It's blocked. Denier came back in time. Seminole takes it and shoots. Glove stopped by Bostet. Thunderbolts are buzzing. Afterward, Hobbs against Henderson. McPhee comes in, and here we go. And a fight. It's Hobbs against Henderson on the near side boards. And McPhee's going to go with Ayatollah Denier as well. 2 fights simultaneously. Hobbs against Henderson. Denier against McPhee. Pretty close to each other, too, near the near side circle. McPhee's got the right going. Stumbles against Denier, gets a couple uppercuts in. Now Hobbs gets his right in on Henderson. Oh, connected with a good right on Henderson. Linesman going to jump in as Hobbs connected on that one. Meanwhile, McPhee and Denier take it apart. Henderson wants to keep going. And the crowd is awoken here at the Fortress. All the while, the Christmas music continues to roll. So again, off the stoppage, Denier gave a shot to Abbott, or rather that was Henderson, I believe, at first. And Hobbs came in defense, took on Henderson, and that's a mismatch for Henderson. Henderson's not a fighter. Held in well, things considered, but Hobbs definitely got the better of the shots in. And then again, away from those two was Denier and McPhee. So now they're within frame, and those two win about shot for shot. And Denier can scrap. McPhee's fought a lot more this season compared to last. And again, Hobbs connected just a second ago on the replay with a really good right hand. That's where the linesman came in to try to break up the two, and Henderson wanted to keep going for another minute. So 2-5.
Schulteis to Allen over the blue line. Allen now into the slot. Shot deflected. Good save. Oh, what a glove save by Logan Fladell there. And there is a scrum behind the Pensacola net. Pensacola folks are throwing the Huntsville guys to the ice. Oh, somebody's trying to fight Don. Oh, you did not fight Don Procopio. Procopio just leveled him with 2 shots. That was Bernie. I think Bernie realized after he looked up, he probably shouldn't have done that.
Thrown into traffic, picked up in the slot. LaRue couldn't get his shot off before bumping into Bourgeois. Clearing attempt held in by Kyle Soper. Shot, save made, play is stopped. And now Button and Stacy going at it. And Button gets on top of Stacy as they roll over. The fight starts and ends rather quickly. It up, and Bourgeois sends it down from center ice. Mundinger wraps it up the boards the far side into the neutral zone. Williams gets hit off the puck from behind. Turning, and now Jimmy Soper going after the man that hit Williams. That's Garrett Lindbergh. And Soper, heavy rights repeatedly on Lindbergh. And then Soper loses his balance and falls down.
This action is off and running here from Vibant Arena at the Marcus. The Thunderbolts chip it in deep, and we have action early on as Divine Apollon. His first fight here with the Storm with Will Vanderveen as they are ready to rock at center ice. Apollon was in the starting lineup. He goes toe-to-toe with Vanderveen. They're trading blows. Apollon with some lefts. The packed house on their feet. Vanderveen loses his lead. Apollon loses his lead. Lefts from Apollon. Pumping the crowd up as he's delivering blows. And Vanderveen goes to the ice. Divine Apollon brings them to their feet. Pumping him up as he's laying uppercuts.
Bunch of years ago, the Chicago Wolves pulled their goaltender, and now you got a fight right over in the slot area. Zach Wilkie throwing hard right haymakers. And he is able to wrestle Matt Wiesner down.
The Havoc will come away with it, though, and they'll try to send it through the neutral zone. There's another hit right there. You see the Ice Flyer bench kind of a little upset there, and we might have a fight, and we do. And this is going to be Andrew Polius. Did not like that fight. And now we've got another Havoc player getting involved. That is going to be number 4, Earn. Earn was the guy that Bernie was going back and forth. Now Procopio is involved. Mastrangelli's involved trying to drag Procopio off. Earn still in getting involved. Now we've got, what is that? Is that Ethan Price, the captain, coming over? No, that's Sam Rhodes, and Faulkner now tied up with a guy. We've got multiple fights at the same time right now on the ice. Faulkner giving him the right hand, 1, 2, 3, and he is down. And a little stare down from Tim Faulkner after that.
On the puck here in their own zone as Orgel plays it back to his left to Standard. He'll drive out into neutral ice before he's hip checked by Acosta. Now Delory drops it right at the Roanoke blue line with a big hit. And now Delory gets ran over there by Tosto. And now it's a full-on scrub here at the Roanoke blue line near side. Stacey's got Tosto grabbed. Acosta hammering uppercuts at Orgel. Orgel's getting rugged off here at the near side red line. Stacey's trying to throw lefts at Tosto. That's a mismatch and a half. The linesmen are most focused on that. Meanwhile, Acosta taking Orgel to school right there in between the penalty boxes. You felt that one coming, and it's because Iulianello has just let it go all night. Dog skate back in behind the Roanoke net. Then Whitmore gave it away. Williams, that's shot blocked by O'Day. And the final horn sounds. And a full fight right in the middle of the Roanoke zone. Soper had jumped in after somebody. Rodebush is on top of the pile. He's giving it to Westcott right now. Helmet is off the Westcott. Mueller trying to drag a body away that's Vance. Kuzmich getting into it with Broman. O'Day and Westcott now grappling with each other. They'll finally break it up. Martin was the one that got grabbed by Soper, and Broman is throwing club punches at Kuzmich. Now Jimmy Soper's gonna grab him. Everyone's still tangling. Kuzmich swipes back at Broman. They both go down. Well, when you play each other 25 to 30% of the time, you don't really like each other.
And now Bear is going to be tossed, and in will come Braden Parker. Now the draw. Parker going right at Wiesner. And now Dabrowski throwing down there with Zach Wilkie. They're going to go. Wilkie and Dabrowski throwing punches. Wilkie a hard right blow. Dabrowski's lost his helmet. Wilkie another uppercut. Now another hard right blow. Dabrowski gets one in response. Wilkie wrestles Dabrowski down on the ice hard. And they still want to go at each other as they quickly get back onto their feet.
Circle, Soper, high point, right side. Orgel winds, fires. Saved by Wilson, no rebound. And here we go. My goodness. He Supermaned into that one. As there's a Havoc player down on the ice, Reginato jumped right in. Oh my goodness, hopefully he's okay down there in front of the net.
And back to the Evansville zone. McPhee will have to go back to give a 15. As definitely this will be a very, very tough one to lose for Evans. Oh, now we get some more at the end. Hobbs at Scahill. Hobbs at Scahill. Now we get punches thrown. These two have been at it all night. And they are chucking haymakers for real now. 5.6 seconds to go. Hobbs at Scahill near the penalty boxes. No helmets for either. This is a pretty good one. And again, we saw them come together back in the second period. Earlier on this period, a couple flybys.
Find him. Kent then winds it. Meanwhile, we got a fight here. Lindsay right on the Birmingham bench, taking on Lenzienko, and he takes him to the ground. Holy jumping. That one broke out quickly. Yanko was playing very physical all game. Let's watch the replay here, see how this one started. Looks like they're just giving each other the business. And then up high, and the gloves were dropped. You know, I got to give it to Lenzienko for dropping them with one of the tougher guys here in the SPHL, but he was no match for Lindsay.
He was no match for Ethan Lindsay.
The assists on that one are going to go to Wilkie and Wiesner. Time of the goal, 11:06. It chases Boyko, and now we'll see what Sebastian Reesar has in him. And now we've got a fight back in the defensive zone, Wiesner and May. That one came out of nowhere. Wiesner and May going at it. May a couple of rights. Wiesner stumbles. Face wash from May. And we've seen that from May before, where he will drop the gloves to try to interject some energy. They're still going at it as they get back to their feet. Dabrowski, quick shot blocked by Welsh. 2:15 to go in the period, and a big hit there as Ybarra is down. That was Dabrowski, and they're going to let play continue here, and Goldowski goes after Dabrowski behind the play. Ybarra still down. Mayhem have a power play coming up. Dabrowski goes after Goldowski. Couple of big hits. Goldowski goes down, and that's all that needs to happen there. Goldowski not a fighter by any stretch, but he stands up for Mateo.
He did get caught, didn't he? Wow.
Put the flank back on goal. Now he will take out of the net and hit to the bench. Smirnov enters, dumped by Vanderveen. That one's a clean hit. But the Thunderbolts do take a retaliation penalty, and now we might get some more in the far corner. There's definitely bad blood. Now we get a fight. McHugh against John Warnley away from the crowd. At the top of the far circle. Second fight, the first one within the bounds of play tonight. Warnley is the right three. McHugh trying to counter with the rights of his own. Helmet is up for McHugh. Warnley stumbles, stays upright, and they continue to jostle. Warnley's got the right for he gets a couple good shots in. And now the lines we get to those two.
5 remaining in the second. O'Day fires in a shot, easily gloved by Flodell. 2:31 to go in this second period. Now Lindbergh pushed out of the way by Poulias. And Delory's going to go at it with Mullen. At center ice, it's Delory and Mullen. Delory connects with a right hook, so too does Mullen. Going at each other, Mullen whipping around, still staying on his skates. He goes in on Delory. Delory has his jersey ripped up over his head. They're now back up. And Mullen, you can tell by the look on his face, enjoying this one. Cleared down to the other end. 25 seconds left on the Pensacola power play, and it sure looked from here like Flodell was tripped, and now we're going to have a penalty called and a fight at center ice. Moran defending his goalie, going in on Lindbergh. Moran and Lindbergh tied up at the blue line. Moran connects on a right, then a left, and he takes down Lindbergh. Lindbergh ends up on top, but he was taken down to the ice by Mike Moran.
I'm going to leave the press box before the night's over and have a word or two with some of these fans that are going over the line a little bit. And you see
Here
what
we
I'm
go.
talking about. Now, here we go, Glover. And I bet you that's Fries. It is. Just inside the Huntsville blue line. They'll grab each other. Right hand by Fries. Another right, another. Now a right by Glover. Fries goes down. He gets back up. Glover delivers a big right overcut. They'll grab each other as they're both winded. And Glover and Fries both pat each other on the back.
LaRue got his stick on it, voids the icing whistle. Thrown up the near side off the glass. And now gloves are off, and LaRue's gonna tango. I believe that's Caleb Huffman, and it is. A heavy left from LaRue, another left from LaRue. There goes the helmet of Huffman. They're trading lefts. And now Huffman down on his knees. And the linesmen are in there.
Kicked out off of a Macon skate. Harley still with it near red line, puts that one through the feet of Finstrom, and here's a penalty coming as Harley got knocked down from behind hard. And now we got two players grappling each other here. Herrera drops the gloves. Finstrom's got Bartuccio Herrera, but Herrera had dropped the gloves with Bryce Martin. And Martin gets a right off, two rights. Herrera answers back with one. Martin had a big uppercut, now a second, a third. Herrera gets taken down to the ice there by Bryce Martin.
Don't want to watch 7 become 8, and we're going to get a tilt right off the hop. It's going to be Dabrowski and Tosto as the two will lock onto each other. You have Dabrowski feeding him right, and down goes Tosto, and that's going to get a big reaction out of the crowd here. As you see Dabrowski flexing the muscles here.
Now for Deneen, near side in his own zone. He fires a pass back at his own blue line. That's going to miss Beers a bit, and then we're going to get a fight here to near side after a trip was coming against Appalachia. It's Garrick Lindbergh and Bartuccio Herrera. They're staring right at each other, square up for now. Left hand of Lindbergh will get Bartuccio Herrera right over the top. Another one. Bartuccio Herrera falling backward a little bit, but he has Lindbergh held. And now Bartuccio Herrera with one on Lindbergh. They will spin here at the Macon blue line as they start to move towards your right on the camera. Now they have a pretty good hold of each other. Two lefts from Lindbergh. Bartuccio Herrera trying to get his left free. And now they have each other tied up pretty tight. See if the linesmen are going to get in here. They will. 12:24 to go in the first. From high to low, down to the making trapezoid. Deneen and Stacy come together. Big collision from those two. It's cleared up to the far side of the making blue line. Now Stacy is getting into it with Deneen. They're going to drop the gloves, and Stacy already going to work. A big uppercut. Now haymakers over the top. And he'll shove down Deneen. It doesn't look like Deneen dropped the gloves, but he had cross-checked Stacy before.
In by the Storm. And we get maybe a fight breaking out here. Let's see. Smirnov and Polius is the instigator for Pensacola. Smirnov simply skating to his bench. No, that's Schiarino for Pensacola. And the scuffle is right in front of the bench area where it's hard to see, and they are now separated by the linesmen. And part of that separation, Smirnov being guided backwards.
And yep, we're going to get a fight up the faceoff. It's going to be Kenny Brin and Matt Hobbs. It was not who I was expecting it to be for Evansville, since they actually played together. But they'll go to center ice. Kenny Brin and Matthew Hobbs. And both get going. Hobbs has the right free. Couple short jabs, and Hobbs gets around. And got the quick takedown partially. Kenny Brin, quick fights.
A tussle behind the play. And this may stop play. It's Ashton Paul. Oh, and they've got the gloves dropped. Ashton Paul of the Storm and Terry Ryder of the Rivermen are squared off at center ice. And now they grapple. And there's Paul going over the top with the right hand. And now with an uppercut. And he throws Ryder down to the ice.
Zone. Down to Rhodes. Back to Price. And a nasty shove from behind from Vanderveen, and that will create a penalty and a fight. Vanderveen going in on Price. Price took exception to what looked like a dirty push from behind. Vanderveen knows he's going to the penalty box, so he's going to get his money's worth as he wraps up Price in a headlock.
Able to poke it away from Bourgeois. Then Delory is going to get tripped up here. And there immediately is going to be a fight as Crowder's going to have to answer for it to Bourgeois. Bourgeois ends up slipping before they can really get that one going. Crowder's helmet's gone. We haven't really seen any punches go yet as they both go down to the ice. 26.4 to go in the first.
Williams, crafty player, shot, save, Wilson. Rebounds loose. Jousting for position out in front. Now Lincoln Earn decides they're going to go for it. Earn's throwing haymakers as he gets tied up, and my goodness, they're all jumping in now. Reginato throws a man down. It's absolute chaos here. And Procopio takes another one down. The Havoc are outnumbered, but you wouldn't know it. Deep. Forecheck by Tosto on Weaver Vitale. Dangerous hit there. My goodness, referee's arm goes right up. That is a very dangerous spot in the ice. That's going to cause a little commotion here. As obviously we hope Weaver Vitale's okay from the initial contact. And then throwing it down is Trezera against Lilleberg. And Lilleberg takes down Trezera, and more gloves are flying around. My goodness. Trezera and Lilleberg still going after it behind the net. Never say die, Frankie Trezera.
Effort here in the offensive zone. Widmar was tied up by Onside in that near corner. 14 ticks now to go. It's a poor battle commencing here in the near side. Onside and Widmar tied up, and now Holmes and Acosta are just going to drop him, and they're throwing haymakers to his side. Now an uppercut from Holmes. A haymaker back over the top as Acosta trying to get the right hooks going. Acosta hits one on the button. Holmes with one right back. They'll tie each other up as Holmes gets up one or two more uppercuts there at the end. As they'll end up breaking that one up as the linesmen get in.
Two-handed whack. Britain's going to get the puck back here. Deneen with a hit for him along the end boards. Ybarra goes after his man in the corner. Physicality ramping up here as Britton and Ybarra get entangled. And the Mayhem are going to end up with a power play here. I think Britton and Ybarra, oh, this is a full-on scrum in the far corner now. Arm initially went up when Britton hopped on top of Ybarra. And the Mayhem hopefully coming away with a power play here. We'll see what they end up deciding. But it feels like we are entering next goal wins territory, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we're gonna have a fight off the draw. Britton and Max Messier in his first game back. Britton's second fight of the night. Let's see what Messier's got. They're sizing each other up at the blue line. Messier with a lunge. They grapple each other here. First left from Britton. Messier on the left. Messier comes back with a right. Oh, Messier, big right! And a takedown from Messier. And they'll hug it out at the end, too. Oh, what a sport.
Birmingham Bulls, especially with guys like Glover and Walker coming to town. Here we go. Now right off the jaw, Britton and Trezera is going to go. He grabs a big uppercut there by Trezera. Britton holding on, 2 left. Trezera gets back up. Now on top of him, Britton goes down. Trezera on the bottom, which fires the crowd up. They both hug each other.
Look out. Reginato and Scahill.
Reginato and Scahill. Reginato's laughing at him. Now here comes Scahill. And he's going to hammer him 1 right, 2 right. Now Reginato right on top of him. I believe Scahill's going to get the instigator here, though, Greg.
That's okay.
Because Reginato skated away laughing.
Yeah.
Now Reginato and Scahill still at it, grabbing a hold of each other. Uppercut by Scahill. Now right by Reginato. Didn't connect. Did get the side of the helmet. Now another uppercut by Scahill. That one did connect. Still holding on. Scahill, another uppercut. Another one. He's throwing that right. And that's it. Reginato wants to know what's going on. Is he claiming his hair was being pulled? For the second period. Now let's keep an eye on those two players.
Down here, look out.
In the corner, here we go. At the Zamboni entrance, everybody getting involved with it. Punches being thrown. It's hard for us to see who's involved. Both players still being held in the penalty box. You keep an eye on those guys to see what happens. Now they're trying to take Glover out. That was Lincoln Ernie. Glover's having no part of it, thankfully. They'll get in between everyone now. Now Ethan Lindsay comes off the ice. Now Reginato's waiting for Scahill at the penalty box. Look at this. I don't know if the referees see this or not.
Send him out.
Still a scuffle here in the near corner at the Zamboni entrance. Reginato is not going to move until Scahill comes out of that penalty box.
Right, send Britton right up.
Now Gio Prococo gives a whack. And here we go. He gave it to Glover.
Watch Reginato. He can't come out of the box and join in, Jody.
Reginato is being scaled back to the penalty box.
That's a smart play.
If the referee does not see that, that's a call that Craig Simchuk can send to the league office. Now Reginato's challenging the whole bench.
Now he's calling Britton.
The referee needs to check out and see that Reginato's out of the penalty box. Both Huntsville coaches was trying to get him back to the penalty box. There's still, that's Don Procopio grabbing a hold of Reginato. The Zamboni doors are open. Sadowski was down on the play over there.
For Chartron, broken up by Craig. Feeds McDonald. He's knocked down by a hard hit, and that's going to be a penalty. And now Seacoast going to go one-on-one with Kyler Fenton. Fenton Rentzel's the Quad City captain down on the ice hard.
Back up the left side comes Scott. Back pass. Sinclair. Shot goes just wide short side. Ben Cameron to the near side. And Stent's going back after one of the Bulls players. I think the penalty's on Birmingham. I think Stent got hit in his crease. He is really into it. Hayden Stewart has skated to his own blue line. Oh my, they're really going after Doug Scott. Berkapet's getting some shot. Oh, and look at this. Stent and Stewart might go at it here. Stent drops the gloves. He's going to go at it. We're going to get a goalie fight. This is the Thunderbolts first. Christian Stent and Hayden Stewart. My goodness. Christian Stent and Hayden Stewart at center ice. Right hands for Christian Stent. Stewart stumbles, gets back up. Right hands for Stent, gets multiple. Stewart back down and gets back up. They tie up, and some more short-range jabs. Another right by Kristenstead gets Stewart down. Holy Hannah, what a scrap. The first goalie fight in Evansville Thunderbolts franchise history. That's a W for Kristenstead. You look for another one. It's McDonald racing in. Backhander that time. Sten makes the save. Took a little bit of a whack as well after he covered the puck. That draws a response. Semino after McDonald. Semino drops the gloves. That's Denver Craig. Oh, Semino takes down Craig hard. That was McDonald. It was Denver Craig. Craig elected to drop the gloves. That may not have been the best decision he could have made.
Nearly had a chance to hold the zone. Instead, it'll come free for Craig and Manning. Bourgeois caught Craig away from the play. Craig's holding his knee now. And Bourgeois is going to drop the gloves after he was being tangled with, I should say, by Seacoast. It's 2 or 3 big ones from Bourgeois, although the Quad City captain was late to get his other glove off, in fairness to 22, but Bourgeois and Craig had come together. Craig is down. Delory will start out from left to right, and then zip that one right at Matson. And now Paul and Delory are grappling with each other. No gloves dropped yet. Actually, it looks like now one of them is gone from Delory. They're still tussling here at the near side red line. Now Harley's having words with Matson at center ice. 5.7 to go in the third.
Tonight, the first of 2 straight against the Fayetteville Marksmen. Pensacola, after the opening face-off, is going to head into a bit of a skirmish. Samson Moland is going to go at it with former Ice Flyer Sam Dabrowski. Dabrowski trying to connect with the right hook. Moland trying to respond. Tangled up at center ice. Moland almost got Dabrowski down, and now he takes him down. Dabrowski traded from Pensacola to Fayetteville just a couple months ago.
To get up. Upper body seems to be now. Here we go. Kenny Britton and Matt Hobbs. They were talking before the game, and those last 2 Birmingham hits may have done it. Hobbs and Britton. They squared off in Evansville first time. They'll do it again. Hobbs with a big right, another big right. Just one after another. Now breaking free with one right hand is Kenny Britton. Uppercut by Hobbs. These 2 are going at it. Hobbs getting the best of Britton right now. Now there's a big right by Hobbs, and Britton goes down. Matt Hobbs, if I'm being fair, if we're calling it a buck and keeping it square, Matt Hobbs got the best of that one.
Well. Meanwhile, some action there in front of the net as Procopio's going to knock into Davis, and now they're going to drop him. Procopio's laying into Davis. All the helmets are flying, and so are the haymakers. They're tied up here behind the net. Procopio took exception to that, and him and Davis, then he takes him down. Gio Procopio gets the better of that one.
Good for Gio.
The boards back to the near side wall. Taken back by Carson Vance for Knoxville. Sent behind the net, and now gloves are off the other way. Max Messier gonna go with Jimmy Soper. They've got each other tied up on the near side corner, both with the right hand free. There's a couple of uppercuts. Now it goes over, down goes Messier, and the linesmen get in to stop the fight.
Again, even there. Oh, here we go. Behind the play, LaRue.
Ybarra and LaRue. Tensions flared between them back in the first period. And LaRue still going after Ybarra, then knocks him down. I don't know what the linesmen were doing just watching that. Linesmen finally get in there. Ybarra still down. Trainer out onto the ice. He's back up on his feet under his own power.
By Huntsville, Steve's out of his own net, plays it far side for Stashenko, and then a big hit there in the neutral zone by Ben Schulteis. As Schulteis gave it to McDonald, and then Connor Fries comes in, and they're going to go after it. McDonald and Fries tied up there in the Quad City zone. McDonald laying into Fries. There goes Fries with the uppercut, and Fries takes him down. Connor Fries.
Ybarra and Herrera at the end of a long shift, but still making things difficult for Evansville. Good play, Deneen, and a big hit to boot.
Yeah, that was a heck of a hit by Deneen. We've seen at least 2 or 3 of those this period. The fans here love it.
Witherspoon fresh off the bench. Now we got a fight behind the play. Deneen. His helmet's gone. He's swinging him big time with Hobbs. Deneen a right. Big hit from Hobbs. Deneen trying to chuck him. Hobbs grappling. Deneen trying to go over the top. They'll get in there, and Hobbs with a takedown to end things. Deneen's first fight of the season.
By Sereno shot save. Hard carom back out beneath the goal line. Grabbed by Bras. Up top to Faulkner. And now we've got a fight. Vance beneath the goal line. Vance had the leverage and he used it. Question is, will this turn into an imbalanced penalty? Jones and Vance both in the box, but doesn't have any impact on the number of skaters. And now we're going to go at it again. This time it's center ice. It's Lilliquist going in against Faulkner. Lilliquist reaching out with his left, attacking with his right. Faulkner connects with his right. Faulkner's got his jersey wrapped up, trying to find some leverage. He connects firmly with a right hook. Faulkner and Lilliquist. A real fight at center ice. Faulkner absorbing blow after blow, trying to return on Lilliquist. Faulkner's helmet is off. Faulkner still up on his skates, going at it with right hook after right hook. Now he's wrapping up Lilliquist's jersey, trying to limit his mobility. Now they're locked in an embrace, and I can't say if one had another upper hand left in him, but
his second point of the season. Good to see Max getting on the score sheet again here, as Resar will cover it up. And now we got a fight after the whistle. It's Berkapets and Messier. Max, a big right off the bat. Berkapets gets right back in there. A couple rights on Max. One more bomb from Messier. They're trading rights. Messier slinging him around. Berkapets over the top. Messier gaining his ground. Big uppercut. Another right over the top. Messier takes a right here. Berkapets getting back at him. Another uppercut from Max. And he's 2/3 of the way to the Gordie Howe hat trick with 9:38 to go in the first.
Oh, and here we go, right off the hop. It's going to be Cole Crowder dropping the gloves with number 24, Kenny Britton. As they're going to size each other up here. As they'll make their way towards center ice. Crowder with a quick grab, and he's just laying rights right into him. He's going to feed a couple of uppercuts, and down goes Britton, and what a tilt by Cole Crowder.
Played into the corner by Godmere. Chases after his own puck. Big check put on there by McDonald, and now McDonald is tackled and being pummeled by Braden Barker. Barker goes after McDonald, who put on a good clean hit, and Barker
off the clear out by Zach Jones. Jimmy Soper going after him. He takes down Jones. Julianello's not calling penalties. Soper still wants to go after Jones. He drops the gloves, and now Cooper Jones is going to come over. So the older brothers, sticking up for the younger brothers, are going to drop the mitts. There's heavy uppercuts by Jimmy Soper. Oh, baby! Just feeding Cooper Jones out of the middle of the ice.
back on his feet. Linesman then calling a mercy rule.
It gets by Carson Vance, but he's able to prevent it from going in deep. And now a broken stick for Williams and a delayed penalty coming up against Knoxville as Williams had his stick break on the slash, and then Billy Roach is flung off his skates. Paxton LaRue wants to go after the offender, and now they're going to drop the mitts as Pellinger and LaRue get after it. And now there's a couple of lefts from Pellinger. Pellinger trying to get free, throws a right, and now another heavy left from LaRue. He gets his right on free, and down they go, and the linesmen are in. Williams lost it, worked up the far side, heavy hit by Jimmy Soper, and now fisticuffs going as Mullen goes down and Soper lays off. Bowl is down. Back in the Pensacola zone, the head athletic trainer for the Ice Flyers.
They'll come out to Valerian. Near side wing. Couldn't get the shot away, but it bounces out to Widmar. Widmar centers! That shot scored! Gustav Mueller has once again made this a one-goal game, and we've got a fight here after the whistle. Dorsey was getting pressed from Hawes at the near side post. And now Murphy is getting in the face of Broman. Picking stuff at Broman. They'll continue to grapple with each other. Roman needs to be smart here because Roanoke's only down by one with 44.8 to go. They need him on the ice. Dorsey is getting pulled away too by the back of his sweater. Now two guys continue to grapple now. It's Valerian who starts hammering off rights in the middle of the Fayetteville zone. That one pops up out of nowhere. It's Hawes.
On down the ice has been Schulteis. Slow to get back up, but is back under his own power. And now we got a fight center ice. It's going to be Giovanni Procopio against Matthew Hobbs. Seriously, that's Don Procopio, my apologies. They have fought before, if I'm not mistaken. Right between the benches. Wrights, short-range jabs on both. Now Procopio grabs on with the left hand. More of a wrestling match. And let's see, Havoc captain and the Thunderbolt captain go at it.
Godmere, a newish member of the Storm, wants to get their own blue line. Godmere backhands it up for McDonald, and oh no, Tommy Seacles is hurt behind the play. At his own blue line, he's slow to get up. Riverman now lead it through on the attack. It's Noreka with a fight coming in front of the benches. Away from the play, Jake McDonald.
Greg, but I didn't get a chance. Welsh had it on last night and tonight. Here we go. Kenny Britton and Messier going right at center ice. They'll grab a hold of each other right by Britton. A jab. Messier cocking that arm back, both trying to get their arms free. They're both tying each other up. Now big uppercut there by Messier. Another right by Britton, another. Now Messier comes back with his right. Both of them throwing rights over top. Now both go down on the ice, Kenny Britton and Max Messier. That's what the Birmingham Bulls have been missing.
Linesman. And the puck is dropped, and no surprise here. Gloves come off. Multiple pairs. Cam Tobey gonna dance with Samson Mullen. Jimmy Soper with Tim Faulkner. Loudon Pellinger. Couple of rights from Soper. He loses his balance, gets back up and continues. Tobey loses his balance, can't see him from this angle. Soper and Pellinger still trading blows. There's a couple of uppercuts from Pellinger who starts to go over. And he takes Soper down. Side. Weaving his way in through the neutral zone. Still has it. Gaeta. And now there go the gloves. Tosto dropping him, I believe, with Poulias. Can't see from this angle. They're still throwing down. Tosto appears to have lost his balance. The linesmen are in to separate. Not sure what led to that as Gaeta was making his way through the...
Up in the near corner of the Fayetteville end. It's cleared out towards neutral ice. Alonso is reaching out for it. Huge hit by C.J. Valerian. He blew up Finsterstock. Onside wants Valerian to answer, but it was a beautiful hit. And now Valerian's pummeling onside. He do 2 or 3 rights, and now he'll just paint him up against the near side glass. as onside, holding on for dear life. What a beautiful open ice hit by Valerian. As he caught Finsterstock right through the chest. It's the marksman skate from left to right out of their own zone. It's Hawes. They'll dump this puck down the near side wall as Hawes getting into it now with Harley at the near side of the Roanoke blue line. And now Hawes throws a glove punch at Harley. Now they're just going to drop him. Harley trying to get the hold of Hawes. Hawes with 2 rights. Harley trying to get back up. Linesmen are in there before anything could really get underway. Pass intended up for Aonzo, and now Murphy jumped right into Dorsey. There's a big pile. Aonzo and Crowder have each other grabbed. And Crowder's got 1 glove dropped. Aonzo just wrestles him down to the ice. Meanwhile, Dorsey and Murphy, that's been skimming from last night into tonight. Dorsey's on top of him right now as they try to pull those 2 away. Murphy's got him held by the leg as they're both finally back up. .6:21 to go in the second. They still can't get Murphy and Dorsey away from each other. Crowder and Aonzo, ex-teammates.
Around Bross, flips it into the near corner. Off the carom. Mullen gets hit hard as he gets the puck out. Heading back the other way, Rhodes, and now, after that Mullen hit, Pizzamenti is coming to blows with Gaudette. Gaudette with 1 punch takes him down. That didn't take long.
McCabe's return. Meanwhile, that puck goes all the way down, and then Gagnon ties him up behind the play. And I think we're going to get a fight here, folks, as Ethan Lindsay's laying into Jordan Gagnon, and Gagnon throws him down. Lindsay's right back up, though.
Some space, takes a shot right off the chest, tries to get his own rebound. Rosick lunges out to stop it with the glove. Gave Rosick a pair of saves, and now a pair of players go at it. It's Joe Winmar, it's Andrew Dorsey, or Matt Dorsey that drops the gloves, and he goes at it with Davis Kirkendall. Dorsey takes down Kirkendall. A KO for Matt Dorsey. Winmar's got the offensive rebound. Pass to Delory, the touch. Rosenzweig comes all the way out of his crease to pounce on it. Now we've got a scrum breaking out in the Trapezoids. It's Kirkendall once again, and Delory just shoves him to the ground. And now coming in for a second fight, Nick Panucci. And Panucci will take Delory down before our refs break it up. But Trey Delory took the shots, took down a Quad City guy behind the cage. Now inside the offensive zone. He's tripped up, and the delayed penalty will come against Roanoke. Now some pushing and shoving once again as Travis Broman goes at it with a pair of Storm players. Now everybody converges into that far side. It's a full-on brawl on the far side of the ice. Andrew Stacy laying not 1, not 2, 3 punches. And a secondary fight now breaking out. Aonzo, he's grasping on to McDonald, and now he's taken down. 3 separate fights on that far side. Referees can't stop them all 10 players getting in on it. Now Rosenzweig coming out. Rosick's gonna throw down the gloves. Will we see a goalie fight? Rosenzweig and Rosick just skating around. And the tenders will think about it, and now they'll go to work. How about a goalie fight? Rosick, Rosenzweig. Rosick trying to go low, and now the referees will break it up. How about all 12 players getting in on the brawl? Gabe Rosick, he's hyping up the crowd.
Escape the zone. It'll be Karan to carry it back in. And now we have a fight here at center ice. It's going to be Kyler Head dropping the gloves here with Andrew Stacy. Stacy, a known heavyweight on this Roanoke team. Kyler Head not want to drop the gloves a whole lot. Head feeding some lefts and rights. As Stacy landed a pretty good right there. A few uppercuts and a couple more rights as Kyler Head trying to get a good grab, and the linesmen jump in to break that one up. Pensacola bringing it back in on the right wing side, dipping across, falling down, and a penalty will be called here on Fayetteville. And Wiesner is going to get into it here as he's going to get a cross check here. The gloves are going to come off, and I think that one says enough. And you have Faulkner trying to continue the altercation, the linesman trying to restrain him.
I don't think Wiesner even got a chance to get the gloves down.
Behind the nets, Matt O'Day trying to hustle for it and beat Nick Panucci on it. Big hit there and a penalty upcoming against Quad City. Now some pushing and shoving as Ashton Polk comes in. And there's Andrew Stacy joining the fun. Bryce Martin also coming in. And now everybody's getting taken out. Martin takes down his man. He wants some more. Martin can't be pulled off. He took down Brody Giroux. He's still holding on to Giroux. Bryce Martin tried to throw a punch, trying to get him with the uppercut. Martin just on top of Giroux, bear hugging him. It's taken two linesmen. They still can't get Bryce Martin off him. Well, it was a hard check on the near side boards, and Bryce Martin didn't like it. He is still holding on to Brody Giroux.
He is getting lots of great opportunities, so you're right. It's just going to be...
Oh, here we go off the draw. It's Connor Fries and Connor May. A little bit of discussion before the face-off, and now they'll be talking with their fists. No one's yet to throw a jab. Now May gets a hold of him. He's trying to free up his right arm. May hit by first. Fry lays into May. There goes the helmet. They're jousting at center ice. And May takes Fries down. He's back up. Are they going to still be going? Yes, they are. May can't get his arm free. Fries is still throwing bombs. The fans are electric. What a tilt between Connor May and Connor Fries. So May and Fries off for fighting. Here we go. We're going to get another one. How about Messier and Lindbergh? Right off the ensuing draw. Messier and Lindbergh squaring up right at the blue line. Messier gets right hand free, and then he'll go for the uppercut. Lindbergh trying to get it free. Messier's throwing haymakers. Messier giving it to Lindbergh. Lindbergh, oh my, what an uppercut there. Messier throws his helmet down. He tries to decapitate Lindbergh. I can't believe this. And the referees have seen enough there, but right off the draw.
Out of the zone here, 2-on-1 potentially, and a shot gloved up by Karpinski, and he's got the rebound as well. That was Jordan Ernst. They crashed to crease afterward as well. This draws a fracas. A glove is drawn, not sure whose it is. Chartrand is going out to get a fight. It's Hobbs and Chartrand. Left shots for Chartrand. Hobbs trying to get that right free. No helmet for Hobbs in our first fight of the weekend between these two teams. Hobbs gets the right free for a moment. Chartrand going shot for shot as well. And now the officials will come in. Pretty good even fight. Chartrand and Hobbs. First fight of the weekend, 2:48 into the giveaway though for the Thunderbolts. It's Curtin shooting, same Milutinovic. Rebound covered up, and now Contessa gets jumped on by Ernst. Ernst drops the gloves, at least one glove with Contessa. And those two over wrestling match, gloves are dropped for those two unlikely combatants. Ernst trying to get that right free. Contessa slams him against the glass. They both go down. Ernst trying to get a shot in while he was down on his backside. There was a little bit of contact between Contessa and Lutinovic. That's what drew Ernst in.
Keeps it alive. Behind the net, Abbott had it knocked away from him, loose.
Here we
now
go.
We got Britton, and that's going on with Hobbs. That's over the hit. Hobbs getting right after right in. Britton trying to get his balance. Gets one pop in on Hobbs. All this is because of that interference penalty that Hobbs took on Waite. They're throwing him. Now a left jab by Hobbs. Another one now. Britton gets in with a right. this isn't a friendly love tap session here. They fought before where they've actually given each other a hug after the fight. Not this time. Britain's still trying to get at Hobbs.
First period.
The first power play goes to the Mayhem, and they really don't do anything with it. Some sustained pressure, but only coming about 50 seconds in as the gloves are dropped.
Oh boy, before the face-off, Messier and Price, they're gonna go ahead and go. Messier and Price sizing each other up. I don't know that Messier was expecting this one. Early action. Still waiting for the first jab. Price grabs a hold. Messier trying to cling on. Messier doesn't even look like he wants to go here. Still waiting for the first punch. Price throws Messier with a quick two. Another right, and he stumbles. That's one of the odder fights we've seen from Messier this season. That'll get the crowd riled up nonetheless. And it's Ybarra with Kelly. Ybarra waits, drags, backhand, and it's kicked away by Bassi, but a penalty coming. And now Mastrangeli and Kelly. Mastrangeli drops the gloves on Kelly, and right in front of the wall, he takes him down. Wow, those are two former teammates. No love lost. And the Mayhem gonna go to the power play here. And Ybarra with a little jab.
Ryan Maumeister, second assist on the day, and now a fight breaks out on the far side. It's Novotny going to work on Billy Roach. Roach is going to take down Novotny on the far side. That escalated quickly, and now the lines have been trying to break it up. It was right after that face-off after the goal.
More pressing, trying to force it out, can't do it, but it is back to McPhee. On to Yushkevich, and now we get a fight. Hobbs against Nick Panucci at the Evans Alliance. Hobbs trying to get his team going. Right hand's free for both players. Both connecting a couple shots. Helmets are still on for both. Double right connecting for Hobbs. Double short lefts here for Hobbs. Wild right missing by Panucci. Now both helmets come off as Hobbs connected with a solid right. And Hobbs' helmet was wrestled off. And that'll be all.
Well, we have a dropping of gloves. We have a dropping of gloves now. It's Nick Panucci and Matthew Hobbs. And Panucci gets the first shot in, goes with the overhand right, then the uppercut, then the overhand again. And Panucci plays a little defense and goes back to pounding Hobbs with the right hand. Panucci is all over Hobbs, and finally the linesmen break up the fight.
Widmar chipping it up ahead. It's a race to the puck. Green waiting for it. Lost it. Backhand off the post. And now there's two dogs on an ice bear in front of the bench. And play is finally halted. There was an ice bear skater getting double teamed right in front of the Knoxville bench. And this one's gotten out of hand. 11:01 gone in the second period. We'll let them sort it out when we come back. 4-0 the score. Roanoke leads Knoxville.
You're listening to Ice Bears Hockey, presented by UT Federal Credit Union on 93.7 WVLZ.
Injuries shouldn't keep you from the gym, the field, or your family. But too often, you're told to just rest. You wait weeks for an appointment, then you miss valuable time. At Onward Physical Therapy, we do things differently with board-certified specialists in sports, orthopedics, and pelvic pain, plus sports massage and mental performance coaching.
Manning gets it back, throws it around the dasher boards for Paul. Paul gets taken hard into the boards by Soper. Penalty expires. There goes Jimmy Soper. And now everybody's piling up again. So Roanoke retaliates for the hit. Now Soper's got the gloves off. As does the man in front of him. And he's going to trade blows with Pattison. Uppercuts from Soper. He's got him in a headlock. There goes the helmet of Pattison. They're tied up together. Both guys trying to get free. And there's the takedown by Soper. Mailmeister already being taken to the box along with Kyle Soper. Attempt held in. Deloria shot. That's blocked by Cup. Frees up the puck. for Williams to clear it out. Sent the other way. Williams took a hard hit by Pattison, and now Pattison and Soper are gonna go again. This time they square up, and there's an upper and an over from Jimmy Soper. Pattison trying to get free. Soper another heavy. There's one over. He's taken to the wall. They're still locked up, and the linesman trying to get in there to slow this one down. They pull Pattison away from Jimmy Soper. Shin pad, and a penalty is going to be called. And now Button going after a Roanoke skater, trying to see who that is. As theirs tied up.
It's Noah Finstrom.
Yeah.
Off the near side boards for Westcott. He takes a big hit there
look out.
from Sinclair. Now Carson Vance wants Sinclair. He's already dropped his glove. Now they'll go at it right in front of the Knoxville bench. Carson Vance did not like it. Sinclair gets a right in. They'll tie each other up. Another left by Sinclair. Now right now Vance goes down. And I don't know if that punch connected, it got him down, or if he just slipped.
Feeds it back to Chartrand on the right. He'll just deflect it in. And now you got a fight. Meanwhile, back out in the neutral zone. Brody Tillman being taken on there by Daniel Chartrand. They're throwing punches. Chartrand a couple of uppercuts. Gets his right arm free. Tillman does as well. They grapple. An uppercut from Chartrand. Now a couple of hard rights. Chartrand just continue to land right blows. And finally, the linesmen come in and break up the two.
Something up here inside the building. Off the face-off, and we got a fight breaking up. And it's going to be a quick one as both players went down in a big hurry.
Taken away by Jordan Simoneau. Simoneau makes one man miss, still has the puck, and a delayed offside whistle. And now there go the gloves for Simoneau and Tosto. Huge size advantage here for Simoneau. Lands an uppercut. Tosto dodges a punch, gets Simoneau to fall, and ends up on top of him. It looked like a pretty simple shoulder check. Puck is dropped, gloves are off. It's going to be Robin Lilliquist against Will Vanderveen. Second fight of the night. We're only 11 and a half minutes in. They go to center ice. They square up. Lilliquist grabs a hold. They trade a couple punches, going back and forth. Over the top, there's a heavy right from Lilliquist, and there's the takedown. In front, the pass just too far out in front of Blake Tosto. And a boarding call coming up against Tosto as he takes a man into the boards. He's got two jerseys coming at him. He drops the mitts, and he's going to go with Matt Hobbs. Went with Jordan Simoneau last night, and he goes with Evansville's captain here this evening. Deep, Cup contains it. Backing up in his own end, sliding it up the left side. And now a penalty upcoming, a hard hit on Cup, and Button going after Sean Bunting. Button going under. Bunting trying to go over. There's an uppercut from Bunting. Button sticking up for his D partner, grabbing a hold of him. They're tied up, and the linesmen get in there to separate the two. It's our second fight of the night.
Now sent all the way down the ice by the Storm. McDonald in on the forecheck. He gets bullied by Adenier as Quad City was changing behind the play. Lowe now fresh on the ice. Lee as Adenier going after a man behind the play. And Adenier ties up McDonald. Those two giving each other the business in the corner. The helmet off of Adenier as he ends up on top of Jake McDonald. Adenier starts a fight for his second straight night. And now up top for his shot. Save made. Rebound free. Oh my! How does it stay out? Penalty called as we have a fight coming. McDonald giving it to Worley as those two take each other into the boards.
Joseph is ready. We are too. Puck is dropped. And nothing yet. Now here we go. It's Britton and Messier at center ice. Right off the bat, 4 seconds in. Kenny Britton over the boards into the fray. Grabs Messier. Early jabs from in tight. Both guys trading rights. Messier rips the helmet off. 2, 3 big rights. Another one misses. Britton swings and misses. The back of the head for Britton. Messier chucks another right. Uppercut, another one over the top. Heavy contact there. The jersey's ripped. The glove is off. Here comes Messier with another right to the side of the head. Thought we might see it from him last night. Not the case. And Messier, he's going to need a new tarp. That ought to get the crowd up and moving. Well in the dot tonight. Welsh on his wing. He'll get in on the forecheck. Leaping keep by Krupinski. He's slammed down by Britton, and it's going to be a penalty as he goes up high on Krupinski, and they're going to drop the gloves. Krupinski's trying to keep his balance. A big right and a left, a series of left, and a beatdown from Krupinski. Oh my goodness, he's got him in a headlock, and that'll seal that one.
Holds, feeds late trailer, high slot. Tolman a shot, he missed the net. Rebound off the side of the cage. There was Mastrangeli. And now some more pushing and shoving. Now you got Wiesner and Mastrangeli throwing punches. Now you got Fenton coming in there as well. They're going to drop the gloves. Mastrangeli and Fenton face the near right circle. They're throwing punches. Fenton an uppercut now. A couple of hard right jabs. Now an uppercut. Mastrangeli answers with a couple rights of his own. And Fenton sends Mastrangeli down the ice.
Threw it to the far corner, didn't have anyone there. Now Wernley will pick it up, and now we're going to get a fight here. It's going to be a Denier dropping him with number 19. That's Ryan Mahlmeister as a Denier just pops him right down.
Gagnon has it. He'll dump it into Rosick right on that bouncing puck. He plays it coolly. Gagnon. Now Gagnon in front of the Bulls bench. He's getting into it, and there they go. Gagnon drops the gloves. I don't see who he's with. I'm sure it's Dorsey, although I can't see. It's not Dorsey? No, it's not. It's Pattison, Caden Pattison. Both players go down, getting in good rides. Pattison lands on top of Gagnon, and Gagnon was kind of itching for it.
No. Side, going to be cut out in front by Lilliquist. Oh, Semino runs Lilliquist. He's going to get jumped on. Ice Bears go after Semino. Jimmy Soper dropped the gloves, and Semino will drop the gloves. Lilliquist got nailed by Jordan Semino. Lilliquist is down and hurts. Oh my, the fight's too close to Lilliquist here. Semino's getting the better of the fight against Jimmy Soper. I can't say I blame Soper for getting in there. There was no penalty in the hit itself.
Right side, McKinney, shot, save. And a penalty called, I believe, against the Havoc. Jimmy Soper's going to drop the mitts. Heavy right from Soper as he's going to go with Gio Procopio. Soper falls down. They're still tied up. Linesmen are in there to try to call this off. Shielding it, knocks it ahead. McKinney lifts it up ahead for Williams. Williams turning, lost it, the handle on it. He gets boarded and a penalty coming, and now this is gonna potentially escalate. Everybody grabs a hold of somebody. Williams is up on his skates, and boarding was called against Huntsville. Williams had trouble controlling this puck and gets taken into the boards, I believe, by Risk. And something continuing to develop out of all this. The linesmen have to get involved. Didn't see what exactly happened, but there's a skater from each side.
Circle, Finstrom fires, blocked out in front. And Risk got into a bit of a tie-up there with Patterson. The play on. It's Patterson now giving him a cross check.
What are we doing? There we go.
And Schulteis jumps in.
Benny.
And now Wilson might get
Friese,
involved.
here we go. Come on.
And the gloves are dropped with Connor Friese and Patterson.
Come on, Friese.
Still no bombs yet to be landed. Patterson lands a good right hand.
Oh, come on, Friese.
Friese wrestles him down.
Friese is one of the toughest guys in this league. That guy, I've never met a player, and he's my roommate too, so I can't pump his tires too much.
His belt here. He's been up in the coast a lot this season.
Now here we go. Right off the draw, Julius drops the gloves, and I'm going to assume that's Gagnon. It is. Julius and Gagnon squaring off in the bull zone. There's big rights by Julius and act by Gagnon. He'll grab him by the jersey. Over the head shots, now grabbed and set down on a body slam. Gagnon takes Julius out, which feeds the crowd. Really not a lot of shots delivered there.
For sure. No goals, no penalties in this one through 20 minutes. And here we go, right off the drop. Thought we might have gotten it earlier. Now we get it here. It's Connor May against Kyler Head. Both teams trying to get some energy going here. Excuse me, it's Sam Dabrowski, not Kyler Head. May and Dabrowski. Dabrowski, the first jab. May gets a big right in. Another big right, this time Dabrowski. May swings and misses, takes a couple rights from Dabrowski. Oh boy, Dabrowski got the better of that one for sure. But gotta give respect to Connor May. There for the Mayhem, and now the Fayetteville marksman coming in. That shot up on Boyko. Hold on, now we got another fight behind the play. It's Adenier and Messier. Messier with a right, Adenier falling. Messier getting inside leverage here as he straightens his helmet back up. Messier, a big fight. Adenier loses his lid. Messier nearly does as well. Over the top, a big right from Messier. Uppercut, Adenier, a couple more. And they'll tackle each other down. Messier getting leverage there, and the crowd loves it. There we go. That their on-ice success directly correlates as Boyko's taken out behind the play. Deneen gonna jump Humphrey behind the play. Deneen did not like Murphy, actually, who took out Boyko from beneath his legs, and Deneen dropping the gloves for just the second time this season. He's gonna get taken down by Murphy, but love to see that from Deneen, a guy that's only got 25 penalty minutes on the season. They hold a 1-goal lead. And a huge hit there as well by Murphy, and Krupinski's gonna jump Murphy. Oh my goodness, that one was Allison, I believe, and Murphy and Allison. Krupinski wants to go. They drop the gloves. Krupinski going over the top. Murphy with a takedown there, but Krupinski got the only shots in. That was Allison who got hammered right in front of the Mayhem bench, and Krupinski's gonna stand up for his buddy there. He still wants to go at Murphy as the linesman get in the way. I don't know that I've ever seen Mike this hot.
With Connor Friese. Friese, and now Lincoln. They're going to drop the gloves. It's Earn. It's Patterson. And they're going to brawl here at the blue line, and Patterson wrestles him down.
Oh, Earn gets a couple shots on him while they're laying on the ice there. And Patterson doesn't like it.
You knew Patterson, he was involved in a lot tonight.
It right back in. Gronick through the slot. There's a shot taken, far left wing side. Save is made. And a little pushing and shoving in front. I believe that's Kenny Britton. It is. He's hammering away at Molen. Now Molen gives him a couple of uppercuts. Molen comes in. Molen taken down by Britton, who's still throwing left. Molen trying to get back at Britton, and Britton will bring it in. Cuts around Kremen. Scahill takes him away. He gets the shot off. Stewart makes the save. Now Shackle doesn't like the shot. Now here they go. Scahill giving him a one. There's a left. Now he just grabs the helmet. Shackle did of Scahill. They'll wrestle around with each other. Uppercut by Scahill. He's grabbed the hold to Shackle, not letting. Now behind the net, we still have more going on. Shackle and Scahill still going at it. Far boards, both lines are going to step in as they both go down. Scahill giving him another couple of punches as they went down. Now Price behind the net gives a right hand to...
Yeah, the D came in, Joe.
Out of reach, and Huntsville has it, and there it is, Frankie Trezera on the puck. Trezera, his game. So meanwhile, Trezera's going to get in a fight with Brennan, and they're going to lay into each other. It's Brennan, it's Trezera, and they're throwing bombs.
O'Day, pass down low, and that one is now off that right glove into the goalie crease, and they're going to call it dead on the hand pass. And now the gloves will be dropped, and we're going to see a fight. Io Adeniyi and Caden Patterson now square off. They stare in and look into each other. Patterson, he goes low. Adeniyi goes low, holding onto the collar. Patterson trying to lay a hit, goes high. Missed by Adeniyi. Patterson still holding onto Adeniyi. They're holding onto each other. Shoved there by Patterson. Uppercut. Patterson with another one. They're still going. Adeniyi gets a punch. Patterson now wrapping on the back of Adeniyi, trying to hold him. Bucket flies loose. Patterson and Adeniyi keep on going. Patterson going high, trying to knock down Adeniyi. No one's gone. Both buckets gone, and Adeniyi takes down Patterson. Well, how about a good fight by Caden Patterson and Io Adeniyi?
To get away with the not closing your hand, but it's deemed the on-ice officials.
And now we've got a takedown in the far corner. Right off the face-off, two guys just go at it. Linesmen are on top of them. Didn't see the numbers. It looks like Valerian's getting up. And he was on top of Warnley. I mean...
Alternate identity jerseys. They're white trimmed in red. And right away, we're going to have a fight. It's going to be settled between Panucci and Pellinger. Pellinger has the jersey of Panucci. He connects with a right hook. So too does Panucci. Pellinger going in on Panucci. Connects again. Now Panucci's got Pellinger wrapped up. Two still trading blows. Panucci whips. That opens up an opportunity for Pellinger. Now by the horse collar, Panucci trying to wrap up Pellinger, and that will mark the end of a very fun beginning.
And very briefly, were teammates in Birmingham back in the 21-22 campaign. Four Hobbs joined Evansville. Another hand pass. This will bring the face-off back down. Now we get a little pushing and shoving. Vanderveen is going to go at it here with Mike Moran. Mike Moran, more of a veteran scrapper here in the SPHL. He and Vanderveen will go at it at center ice. So Moran trying to get some momentum for the Rivermen. Moran more of a middleweight against more of a heavyweight in Vanderveen. Moran giving up some size, but hanging in there well so far. No shots landing yet, but Vanderveen has the arm loose, and he gets it right in there. Helmet's still on as they're right at center ice. Vanderveen and Mike Moran. And the linesman will cut in here. So more of a wrestling match. No real big haymakers.
Quad City back at full strength as Bourgeois pops out of the box, and now Bourgeois going right at Samson Mullen. They're fighting. Mullen receives a couple blows and now wrestles Bourgeois down to the ice. Bourgeois quickly back up. The officials get in the way. Mullen doesn't want to let go. He feels there's more to be said and done.
Result of that is going to be 4-on-4. We're going to get another fight off the draw. Right here by the referee's circle. It's Brennan and Lindsay, and they're throwing haymakers. Lindsay gets right up there. He's throwing bombs. Holy jumping, folks. What a bout between Kenny Brennan and Ethan Lindsay. And they give each other a pack. Into the skates off C.J. Walker. And now we got a fight here at center ice between Drake Glover and Connor Fries. And they're squaring each other up. Definitely a discussion in the pregame between these two. And Glover wrestles him down. Back to even strength, and now they're gonna go again. Fries, Glover, my goodness, right out of the box, and bombs are being thrown between those two. They haven't had enough, folks. And Glover takes them down. They're back up, though, and they're gonna keep going. Glover gets right on free, and is just laying into Fries.
Net. Semino trying to work it towards the front. Good stick by Ryder to deny him. And now you got a fight. You got Hobbs there and Terry Ryder dropping the gloves. They're going to actually come together at center here. Hobbs and Ryder. The main event starts now. They come together. Ryder gets a couple of shots in. Hobbs lost his helmet, and they wrestle each other down. Here's Abbott, left side, pace circle, short angle shot save, rebound, and now you're gonna have a fight. Moran gonna step up for his teammate, going up against McPhee. They're throwing punches. McPhee gets a right in. Moran answers with a right of his own. McPhee's hurt. Oh, McPhee taking a couple of shots right in the side of the face. They grapple again. McPhee trying to get an uppercut in. Moran has lost his helmet. McPhee gets a shot in as well. And now the linesman will come in. Boy, Mike Moran stepping up for his teammate. Offensive zone. Barker chasing after it. Oh, he got hit up high. And he's able to get back onto his feet and pick up his stick as the Thunderbolts are out through center. Cross ice pass over to McIntosh. He'll swing one to the offensive zone. Meanwhile, Barker and Vanderveen going right at each other. They're throwing punches right in front of the Riverman bench. Barker a couple of right shots in, and another uppercut on Vanderveen. Vanderveen trying to answer, and they grapple each other down. Ray Barker not appreciating the high hit from Will Vanderveen and deciding to take matters into his own hands. Now Vanderveen John at the Riverman bench.
16:49 to go. Huge hit there delivered on Witherspoon, and the Mayhem are going to go to the first power play of the game. And Witherspoon's still down, and that's going to draw a big crowd. Big shots being thrown, and now Risk and Ybarra going to go. Risk delivering rights to Ybarra, trying to grapple for position. Ybarra, big right, oh my goodness. Connected heavy on that one, and Ybarra still wrestling for it. Witherspoon getting looked at while Ybarra goes at it with Risk. More right from Ybarra, and a big takedown. Cooper Fensterstock. Goldowski will take it all the way back out. McLakos is getting harassed, and they're gonna go back in front of the Mayhem bench. It's McLakos. He'll throw one big quick right. He's in there with Chirino, it looks like. McLakos and Chirino hug it out right there in front of the Mayhem bench. This is McLakos' first fight of the year. Oh, a series of left uppercuts right to the face of Chirino and a takedown. Two decided victories in the first period fights for the
Henry with a burst of speed on the right wing side. Drags around looking for the backdoor feed over to Herrera, and he gets ran into as Wilkie's going to go in back behind the net and show some exception, and the gloves are going to come off. Wilkie just hammering rights. Herrera gets a good one in as Herrera was able to get a tug on the jersey and just takes down Wilkie.
And the referee took a shot there.
Was going to try to connect with Cahill on the right wing side. And a big open ice hit. Ybarra gets up in it here by Adenier. The gloves come off, and Adenier is just going to start feeding rights right into Justin Kelly. As Adenier tries to get the left. And Adenier feeding rights. He's able to take down Kelly.
And turn back to the end boards. Contessa on the double team. Battling with Shane Bull. And now Bernard really getting to it with Shane Bull on the near side boards. Took a shot up high from Bull. Those two continue. Justin Bull knocked down his own teammate, Mastrangeli. And those two continue to wrestle. Bernard and Shane Bull. Play will finally be stopped. Both continue to joust. No gloves dropped yet. And Bernard, now Bernard drops the gloves. Looks like Bull falls suits. And they'll square from the near side corner of the Pensacola zone. Bernard's got the right feet. He's got plenty of size advantage on Bull. Bull does get the takedown as he went over the top. And Bull really the aggressor out of all that as he really went hard at Bernard in the near side boards. And Bernard stood up for himself. Good scrap. I mean, in regulation. Watching for prop now. Well, no doubt go here any moment. Right now, the Thunderbolts have possession of their own zone with 106 of the clock remaining. And now we get a stoppage. Ethan Price dropped his gloves. We're going to fight against Cameron McPhee in the Evansville zone. Price against McPhee. Both with the rights free. McPhee gets Price off bounce, and the helmet is off Price. Price sits in trouble against Cameron McPhee. And now the linesmen have seen enough. They cut it short a little early.
Tied up by Helland. Glover intercepts the pass. Pops into the air off a stick, bouncing through the left circle, controlled. And now Helland dropping the gloves. Tied up at center ice. They exchange punches. Helland takes off his helmet as he goes with Kenny Britton. Helland trying to get free. Linesman in, a pat on the back for both guys. Actually won an overtime game last season. And now here goes Troy Button and Kenny Britton. They're going to drop the mitts. Britton's second fight of the weekend. There goes Britton's helmet. Both players land to right. There's a jab from Button. Both players grabbing on, couple of quick jabs. Button tries to go under over. Britton gets free. They go down to their knees. Pats on the back both ways, and the linesman in. And Button trying to fire up this crowd. Angle shot on the back door as it came free for Kent after Stewart made the initial save, but that one hit the side of the net. Battling for net front, and now Blake Tosto's gonna drop the mitts. He took a cross check from behind with Connor Scahill, and so they're gonna go. And they're gonna go out to center ice and make a spectacle of it. They grab on. Tosto dodges a punch from Scahill. There's an uppercut from Scahill. Tosto gets free. A big punch off his right arm. Both skaters go down, and
meanwhile, Ernst tripped over the blue line, and now you're going to have a fight. Pattinson against Fenton. Patterson locks together with Fenton. Fenton throws a hard right. Gets an uppercut and another right in, and he sends Patterson down to the ice. They get back together. The linesmen say that's enough.
left circle taken in the slot. Backhand try goes wide, and a penalty coming. That's a hard hit. That's going to lead to some fisticuffs. McKinney got taken hard into the boards. He's still down on the ice, and a penalty was called against Huntsville. This is going to be a 5-on-3, potentially, depending on the full penalty detail. But Knoxville was not going to let that one slide. For Branshaw. Branshaw gets taken hard into the boards. There's a penalty. It's another 5-on-3 potentially, and more fisticuffs. And now punches being thrown. Tim Kent tied up with a Huntsville skater.
Reginato again.
Head athletic trainer Rachel Jackson rushing across the ice. There is a Knoxville skater down. A lot of heavy board play by Huntsville tonight.
Jones jabbing at it, trying to jar it loose. Now Jones pushing into the boards, and away from the puck, we've got ourselves a fight. It's McPhee and Pellinger. Fresh out of the penalty box, they're going at it again. Pellinger connects first, trying to wrestle down McPhee to the ice, and he takes him down. Not so much a fight as a wrestling match. Those two fresh out of the penalty box after a late first period roughing call.
Off the draw, play to the near left half boards. Devine trying to get a stick on it. Deflects to the corner. McPhee pressured again. They jam for it. And the President's Cup is going to stay in Evansville. The Thunderbolts are the President's Cup champions.